Welcome back to AOG News. Once again, my name is Taylor Barr. Tonight, we are continuing a look back at the mysterious outbreak that almost crippled Newland and the heroic rebound our nation undertook. Here is part one of the report. In the country of Newland, a mysterious virus swept through the formerly prosperous nation, leading to reports circling the globe about the dangers of living there. The once bustling megacities of Superlandia saw its streets empty. Its once packed beaches were now devoid of any life aside from the fishes and crabs. Tourism had stopped. Migration had stopped. Life had stopped. As the country once relied on tourism for 40% of its GDP, Newland felt a financial and humanitarian crisis brewing. In order to keep the lights on in their hospitals, a basic need, Newland took out a $3.5 million loan from their good allies, the Goldie Stands. Unfortunately, as the Prime Minister of Newland returned with the funds, his advisors informed him that they would be unable to pay back the loan even with an attempted jumpstart of their economy. Newland had added fuel to their own fire, a sovereign debt crisis. Just as the economy was collapsing, reports of counterfeit bills began to hit the market. Determined to not distract the country with another crisis, the Ministry of Security demonetized the old bills and issued new forms of fiat currency in the forms of 20, 50s, and $100 bills. Long lines at banks and shortages of the new bills led to unrest in Newland. As the pandemic in Newland worsened, the future of the country's demographics were also changing. Pre-pandemic, Newland was suffering from an aging population. However, due to the pandemic, this became less of a concern as many older Newlandian residents were dying from the disease. Unfortunately, the population size and workforce shrunk, with migration being put on hold, the rising death toll, and high unemployment. With fewer people in the workforce, they needed to start taking drastic measures to boost their productivity. At this point, Newland was on the brink of a major financial recession. History professor Maya Albano from the Newland University is here to talk about how Newland recovered from the epidemic.
As a result of the sovereign debt crisis and other economic issues, Newland's currency had taken a fall. Because of this, Newland had turned to previous examples of successful economic recoveries by other countries. It replicated Iceland's response by encouraging tourism again. Like Iceland, Newland had a floating currency, which allowed for faster recovery. Once the pandemic slowed down, Newland contacted the World Health Organization in order to promote that their country was safe again. The WHO had affirmed that the pandemic had slowed significantly and that it was safe for tourists. Tourism made up 40% of Newland's GDP, so this was a major step to help rebound the economy. Newland also turned to the IMF for both advice and financial support to help bolster economic growth. The IMF required that Newland adopt neoliberal policies to privatize businesses and reduce government programs. As you can see, Newland relied on multiple global governance institutions, which helped it to make a faster recovery. In addition, the Newland government offered tax breaks to ventures and private companies that focused research on healthcare technology, in hopes to prevent another pandemic. As tourism began to increase again, the country was able to pay back its debts and stabilize its economy. The lessons learned from this crisis left a permanent impact on Newland's economic policies. Back to you, Taylor.
Signing off at AOG News, it's Taylor Barr. Have a great evening, everyone.